Hello, good morning, everyone. Um, Sunday morning, and this morning I am making a video discussing reels to use for flatheads. So I put them from left to right, you know, um, how easy they are to use and their pros and cons. So your typical reel, let's start with this one. This is typical spinning reels. The only problem with these reels, they're if you put the bail down and you hook onto a big flathead, your rod's going in the water and you're probably not ever get it again. So these are not the ideal reels I would use for flathead. The problem is you fish, and the only way you make sure your rod doesn't go in the water is you make sure you open the bail so the fish can take the line out. So you can't really hear it, and unless you put a bail on your rod. But these work, but they're not ideal for flathead. These are on my a great beginner flathead reel. They're very inexpensive. The only downside is after a few years of reuse, the flathead, they will completely wreck them if you're going after a big flathead. Let's see. So these are Akuma Avengers ABF 55B. This is a smaller one. They make up to an 8,000. So the smallest reels you should get is roughly about 6,000 size reel for flatheads, because you do need quite large line for them. The lightest braid I will use is 80 pound, and nothing less than 80 pound, because they will damage your braid. These are great beginners, like I said, but flatheads will wreck them. So these are roughly about $50-$60, depending on the size you buy and if there's a sale. I get them on Amazon. Usually I look up the size and I go down a little bit and look for the open box. They're open box, they're a little cheaper, but they're still perfectly fine to use. My favorites are these. The Spin Fisher V and VI, not this, the VVI. So all the Spin Fisher VI, VVI live liner. So this is the largest of the live liner series, the 8500. But these are expensive. They're about $200 each, and sometimes you can find them on sale. Get used one from eBay for like roughly $100. Sometimes you find open box at roughly $150, but these are roughly $200, so they're expensive. But they last. They last for a very, very long time, and they do make parts for these. You can get parts on them really easily available from mysticparts.com. And so these are dual drag. These are called dual drag. So you set the drag. These one have a key. This one has a knob on the bottom. So you turn the knob, adjust the drag. These are easier to use than these other reels. I'll get to those in a moment. So they let you take the line out. This is one for when I do shore fishing and I do chuck my bait out, cast them out with my 10-foot rods. So that's why I need a lot of line capacity. And so you can hear them when the flathead takes line. You can hear them take line out. But downside, they're expensive, but they last. The question is, you want to buy one of these? That's $50. May last my 5 years, or get $150. It's a $200 one for that lasts like 10 plus year. I have ones that are over 10 years old and they still work perfectly fine. I have these ones before, and the flatheads do wreck them after a while. And it's an investment, and you want to put good money into good gear that'll last a long time. You never have to buy gear over and over. These are really easy to use. It's just spinning reel with a extra bottom drag, heavy duty. So they make if you boat fishing, if you're fishing from a boat, I get the 6500, and if you're fishing from shore, I get the 8500. That's what I use. And then, so these are pretty neck and neck a little bit. So this is, let's talk about this one first. This is a giant low profile reel. This is the Alios 400. So like if you're a bass fisherman and stuff, and you want a reel for flathead fishing, you can get an Alios 400. They have a bait clicker, which is really nice. So you let it free line, and then when a flathead takes it, you can hear the clicker going off. And then, so these are not little friendly, smoother to cast than this one. This is a round bait caster. So this one has the magnetic braking system and a tension knob. So he has dual braking, which allows you to cast larger baits. I found that when you cast out really large bait, there's some backlash. So these are one of my favorite reel for boat fishing and somewhat near shore fishing, because the problem with these ones, they don't have a lot of line capacity. This one only has 80 pound and the yardage is 165. These are good for boat fishing though. I really like these. They cast nice and smooth. These are roughly $120 from PC Fun. And they're a decent reel. I wouldn't say they're like a phenomenal reel though, but these are a decent reel. They're I call these the poor man's Daiwa Lexa because they are made in the same factory as a Daiwa Lexa, but they're like a third the price. And I have two of these and I haven't had any problems with them yet. So these are pretty nice reels. These are the round bait caster. You see a lot of people use them for flatheads and stuff, like the Abu Garcia Ambassadors. This one's a PC Fun Chaos XS60. These are roughly about $60. So it has a clicker, you can hear it. These are decent reel. They're not, you can cast, but you can't really go crazy on the bait size because this only has a tension knob. That one has a magnetic braking also. So you can't really cast really hard with these because they will backlash. If you have a weight and a light bluegill on and you try to gas these, it might backlash a little bit. So you turn on your tension knob all the way down when you cast. Always test out your gear before you actually use them for fishing, I'll say. This one only has about 15 pounds of drag, which is enough for flatheads, really. Even a big one like a 60 pounder. This one has 35. That's a little bit overkill because this is also a saltwater bait caster. So they're both good, but they're more like intermediate reels. These are more beginner friendly. I like these. I cast it, not worry about backlashing or anything. And then you got your conventional reel and stuff. But this is a really big one. I don't have like a Penn Squall or anything. So, so the Penn Squall, a lot of people I know up in Phoenix, they use them. They have the Penn Squall. It's a conventional level wind where they have the line winder in. They're roughly $100. They have a couple different models. They have most guys I know using like the 50 size Penn Squall level wind 50. But the only downside, you can't cast with these conventional reels sometimes. I know the Penn, there's certain models you can cast with, but not all of them are the same. So it's I don't use them that much, so I don't know. These are But these are what I prefer sometimes. These are the conventional reel. This is the Dywall Saltus 50S. This is my saltwater reel. And it's also a conventional reel, but it's also a surf reel, so you can actually surf with it. But these are a little bit more advanced. They're not as forgiving though. These, you gotta have good thumb control, or these will backlash pretty bad. So the safest way is, when using conventional reel, is either kayak the bait out. I've seen people, so a lot of guys have kayaks and they'll kayak the bait out. Or the new guys, the new toy lately up in Bartlett is our bait boats. So so these bait boats, they have a slot or they have a bucket, and you put your bait in, and you kind of use a remote control and you just take it out wherever you want. I got the Chinese one. I wouldn't recommend those Chinese made bass boats. Chinese made bait boat. They're about roughly 150 bucks. The only problem, they break. Just go to Big Carp Tackle and get a nice one. They're like 100. The cheapest one I saw was 165, and they got one for like $5,000 if you want to go crazy. Well, you don't have to go crazy. Just get a decent one from Big Carp Tackle. I like them. They've been around for a long time, and they they sell really good imported gear and stuff. So get a nice Big Carp Tackle boat. These are the crazier ones. These are really expensive. These are the 2-speed reels. So this is an Akuma TG30 2. So this is a lever drag, also a 2-speed reel. You really don't really need this for flathead, but I know a lot of guys up in Bartlett, they like these type of reels because they can quickly put drag pressure. These are a little bit more advanced because you gotta learn how to adjust the drag properly. They're not too hard to learn. You can't really cast these, so you gotta run bait out with a bait boat or a kayak. And because they're also 2-speed, so they have a lot high speed and low speed. I've seen a few people up in Bartlett use these. If you have the money, go for it, and if you want to run bait out, yeah. But I'd rather people stick to these. If you're a beginner, get a Pissy Fun Alley Host, or even the Abu Garcia Ambassador. Those are a little bit pricier. They're roughly 150 bucks. Some of them are like 250. But my go-to is always, my favorites are the Penn Spinfisher Live Liner series. I like these, easy to use, don't have to worry about backlashing or anything. And they're very sturdy reels. Parts easy to get. They're just expensive for, if you want to invest in quality gear. So yeah, and so kind of decide what you want. I'm just here to assist you in your journey to catch a big flathead. So thank you for watching, and have a great Sunday.